Hello and welcome to, bring you down a bit actually, a new Sandra makes. I hope it sounds okay now. We're on a new system and hopefully all is going well. So the flute repair is ongoing, but it's looking hopeful. I'll do an update on that soon, but time is ticking on. I've got a couple of things to do and I need to get ready for the morning, so it won't be today. But the start of this video, I'm afraid, will be a little bit of a Sandra unmakes rather than Sandra makes. So once in a while things don't quite go to plan. So it's been beavering away. So this is my sock that I've been knitting. That's sock number 1, and obviously sock number 2 needs to look like sock number 1. It'll be a little bit odd. So I started off good. So I've got the top band in orange, and then yellow, creamy grey, orange, red, yellow, creamy grey. But the other one, I got ahead of myself. So after the creamy grey, there should have been another band of orange, and I've gone straight onto the red. So I'm going to have to undo it because otherwise the socks won't match. So it's not so much the undoing, it's trying to pick up the stitches once it's undone that tends to be a challenge. I don't really have a very easy way how to do this. But we'll give it a go, I'll share the pain with you. And then once I've done that, I can restart on the orange where I should have been. So this is my starting area. So I need to roll right back to that point where I started to work in the red when I should have been working in the orange, and then onto the red, and then the heel. So let's give it a whirl. So let's just okay, so I don't, this is my least favourite part when I'm knitting anything. When I was younger, I probably would have just given up at this point, but anyway. With age we get a little wisdom, I think. So it just needs to come all the way out. And then I had groups of stitches, so it was a bit, I think a 20, 20 and 16 between the 3 needles. So I also need to try and recreate that as well. So this part's okay, it's what comes next that's always a bit scary. Anyway, so I'm a bit torn between going back onto the needles and then taking them back stitch by stitch, or just unraveling, but I think we better be sensible and take back into the needles at this stage. So I've got 1, 2, so there's a twist on each stitch as well, 3, 4, they're quite tight here as well, 5, 6, this is just going to be tricky, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is where they start popping off all by themselves. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm still not there yet because I still will need to go back another layer. And I think this was my, I think this is, must be either 16 or 20, I'm not sure, and then 1, oh dear, 2, this is Sandra's concentrating face, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, oh dear, 13, it's starting to come apart already, 14, 15, 16 I think, and then around the corner with another 20, I hope, if we get to the end. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, we're all falling apart a bit now, so I've lost a stitch there, so that's already down to the white. 16, it's getting very tight on the corner as well. I thought this would be a bit of a problem. 18, 19, 20, so I'm not even trying to go back onto the red on that level because it's dropping off already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now I've still got to peel back another layer, which is going to be fun. Not really that fun. So where's the thread I was, oh yeah, let's, okay, so I'm going to pause or it's going to be too long, so I'm going to wind up the red, find the end, work my way back, and then pick up again when I'm ready to start the orange. Definitely one of those days. I've gone back to the creamy grey, but I've got all the stitches back on, but one row back I had also dropped a stitch there as well, so I am going to have to go and find a small crochet hook and recover the one little lost stitch from the row before, and then I can start again and then start working in the correct colour. Anyway, just to show, it don't always go to plan, but that's fine, we plod on. Lovely to see you all, and I will continue very soon. Right, another day. Bit of a cloudy day, but it's okay. Not raining, still. I'm working on a bit of a project today that I started a very long time ago, and it's been on my to-do list to do this next step for a long time as well. So I've got some wood finishing oil and I'm just retreating the parts of my old spinning wheel. So on my crafting workshop event last year, I took some advice, and it may take a proper woodworker to really sort it out, but it would help, they felt, to retreat the wood with wood oil, because the wood can shrink over time. So one of the issues has been is this little peg here is actually still a bit on the wobbly side, wobbly, and so it should sit on this part here. It should be more of a snug fit than it is. So when you're trying to spin, the wheel's wobbling a bit, but that's also wobbling, and then the flyer thread, whatever it's called, anyway, tends to fall off. Anyway, so I'm giving it an oil. It actually looks a little bit better already anyway, so you can see that's one that I've done that leg, not done that leg. So I think it'll look a bit nicer anyway, and it might possibly help tighten up the joints a little bit where they're loose. So I don't know if I'll get any when I'm filming, but we have had the swallows coming in again, and I had one just chattering away to me above my head a short while ago, so I'll try and catch them if I can. We'll see. It's one of those funny things where it must be about a year now since I last had much time already really to work on this little project, or not so little project, and I've varnished everything, and then or finishing oil treated everything, so it's looking smarter, and I thought, oh, I'll try and put it back together. I realised I'm kind of forgetting the detail, but I've sort of made some progress, I think. So it's a little bit complicated. It was all in bits, but so this is the drive that you need to do the spinning, to spin the wool, and the wool feeds in and gets spun and then ends up on the reel. But this needs to line up here so that when the strings are on, it's a double stringed one, so it goes round and then loops and then round again. So that needs to line up with that, so that's good. And I just got some screws underneath and need to tighten up on this part. That slides, that's a tensioner, so that slides across that way, so you get the right tension when you're spinning. This is the actual spinning wheel of it. Oh, I'm not showing this right. That's a spinning wheel, but this sadly should be the other way around, so that should be at the back. So I was thinking the other side was the front, so I started setting up the bottom plate, so that'll be the treadle that'll keep everything spinning when it's going. But there are massive long screws in this part, in here and here. So long story short, I managed to screw it in the wrong way round, so not realising this is the front and thinking that that was the front. So I'm going to stop for a while, because yeah, I've got gardening to do as well. It's going to take ages to sort it out, so I will have another try a bit later, hopefully with the brain a bit more in gear. And then there's a connecting piece here, which anyway, so I thought I found the right kind of plastic, but it shattered really easily when I tried to set this up last year, so again I need to change that piece of plastic as well. But before I can do any of that, it all needs to be screwed in the right way round. And then the original issue with this part here, unfortunately, is still wobbly. It just doesn't sit flush enough on the base, and then it wobbles around, so I could possibly, it is actually tighter than it was, but I could possibly actually wedge something under this side, but I don't think the piece of wood underneath, I don't think that piece of wood underneath that was holding that is the original piece of wood, which is probably the issue. Anyway, some progress, I think. Better get gardening.
Hi, my name's Nick and I'm appearing on Sandra Makes. Welcome to another Sandra Makes on a Sunday afternoon, just for you. Explain, Sandra.
So, I can't begin to describe how excited I am about this and how grateful I am to my amazing husband, because for a year I've been wanting to fix and get working again this spinning wheel so I can have a go at spinning some of my own wool, and look at that. Everything working perfectly for the first time. What an amazing husband have I got, look at that.
Did you know how it all works, Sandra?
Yeah.
Do you want to confess?
Well, the only thing I got majorly wrong was that these pieces have massive screws on down here, and I did put that in the video already, but anyway, for Neil. And it should have been the other way around. Anyway, so Neil's helped me swap them so it's the right way around, and helped me with a few of the little bits.
What else have you learnt today?
Okay.
So if you just stop 1 second. So there is 2 speeds.
That I did get wrong.
And this you haven't got connected into here. So that's the actual. This will give you the momentum of speed. So you've got 2 speeds, so fast and slow.
2 speed, which I didn't know, to be fair. And
then this one goes into this one here, which is spinning. I'm calling it a bobbin, but I quite like because that's got a clutch mechanism. You see fingers here, so if it goes too tight, it won't allow you to break the wheel.
And then I'll show a bit, but the idea is once it's going, so you start off with a bit of string. I've done this bit on the train.
Well, where's your wool?
Well, that's what I just said. I need to get some wool, but start it off, it feeds through, and then it spins here, and then as it spins, it then starts to collect on there.
No, and then
so that's the general idea.
If for some reason this is now starting to lose its momentum, somebody's now learned that this is threaded, so you can screw this.
I knew that. I
did it. You said this was all loose and you need a new bit of wood.
That way. But all of this moves. So basically, it's the first time I've got a decent alignment this way. Thank you, Neil. But yeah, you can adjust it this way as well underneath, and you can always. That's the tensioner, which I did already know.
Yeah, and what else?
And I did grease the tensioner, but
Yeah, and you need a bit of oil on these leathers just to give it a little bit.
Yeah.
But also these legs, the bar here kept coming out, and I think the hole is either elongated just with wear, or these legs. I think there is a different size since we swapped them around. That's gone better. But right, go and find some wool then.
Right. So yeah, I'm back in the garage. It's a beautiful, well, mixture of sunshine and cloud sort of day. We've had some much needed rain on the garden, and as I say, some progress with the spinning wheel, but I just want to give a quick update on that because I don't think we're quite where we should be yet. So I'm still head scratching a little bit, and I realised actually my friend Rachel has a working spinning wheel, so I asked her how hers works, and there was a little bit more to it. So where I'm up to at the moment is I can get, if you can see, this is just a bit of practice wool. Hope you can see, but I can get twist on the wool by feeding it through and this spinning around. But the bobbin part should be free, so it doesn't connect on here as Neil was thinking, which fits with when I took some advice on my crafting week last year in Norfolk. They said this is designed to go, there's a double drive on these 2 pieces here and on the wheel, so that part's okay. And excuse me, so I can get twist on, but it still didn't wind onto the bobbin, so I did that manually just to give some idea. So yes, I'm not quite there yet with what else I need to do. So on my friend's spinning wheel, on Rachel's, there's another piece of thread that goes to a tensioner, a little bit like this knob down here. So I thought maybe that's what that knob is for. At the moment I'm just using it to hold the twisted wool. So sort of semi there but not quite there, so at least I can get twist on. But it'd be really great if there was a video somewhere with this specific wheel and how it should be set up. So I've heard different things, and obviously Neil has seen somewhere you can do different twist arrangements with so these are really just meant to hold the so say if I had actually spun that on there and you want to move things along so that the wool starts picking up further along the bobbin, you can do that, but it doesn't really solve the issue of getting it to feed onto the bobbin in the first place. So that's what I'm a little bit stuck with at the moment, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. And then the other thing I've got a slight issue with is to get the bobbin off. This part has a screw fitting inside that should release so that you can get the bobbin off, and it's a bit stuck at the moment. So I've put a little bit of oil on it and left it a while, and when I've got time I'll come back and just see if I can release that. But worst case, I do have a contact where they would be able to make me a new whirl if I'm really struggling, which I might have to do at some point. Right, anyway, so that's the little spinning wheel update. So still a little bit so near so far. I was so excited thinking I might be able to actually start spinning some wool myself, but I'm not quite there yet. So I can get twist, but I can't wind on the bobbin. Anyway, I'm sure I'll get there at some point, but I'm rapidly running out of time as ever. And then the other thing I'm trying to get finished while I've got a bit more time is the sock update. So that's still sock number 1. So I'm trying to make sock number 2 to match sock number 1. So making good progress now. So again, if I turn sock number 1 the other way, so that we start at the top, and I'm working my way down to the toe, and I've already done the heel part. So from the top to the heel is done, if you can see that, and then I've just got a little bit more to do to finish the toe. So it's been a real labour of love, but I'm quite excited to finally have completed my first ever pair of socks, and I'm sure it won't take quite so long next time. It's just because it was my first go, so yeah, not too bad. Anyway, so they're coming along nicely, so they'll be good for next winter. Keep me toes nice and cosy and warm, even in wellies and things like that might be quite good. So it is proper wool with a little bit of elastane in, so they're nice and stretchy as well as comfy and warm. So yeah, so that's why, if you're following the Neil main channel info, so it was just really not a good time to leave the whole bag in the pub. Silly me. Anyway, we managed to get it back, so it's all kind of fine. So, there you go. Anyway, so I'm going to finish this particular Sandra makes here. There's other things I'm still working on. So my wine that I started off is now ready to transfer into the demijohns. But maybe just quickly show you some of that. Oh. So I've got the 2 versions. So I've got the so this is the elderflower version. So it has been bubbling away quite nicely, but it's slowed down a bit now. And this is the so that was the honeysuckle version. So excuse me. Yeah, so not that surprisingly, all the colour's gone out of the flowers now, but hopefully it'll still give a nice flavour. So that's that one. Right, so And then so the mushrooms are still cooking, so we're looking a little bit, yeah, ooh, okay. I'm not too sure about these, to be quite honest. Looking a bit strange still. So yeah, so I did try a couple that fruited. Yeah, they tasted okay, but it seems like a lot of effort for not a lot of mushrooms somehow. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Anyone else out tried to grow mushrooms? I don't know. Anyway, it was fun trying. I'm not sure I'll do it again. So anyways, that's been quite a long catch up there. Thanks ever so much if you've watched this far. Do have a look out for Sandra Makes and Bakes on our Facebook page as well, and hopefully see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye for now. Sarah.